Hi, welcome to Christiana Pranayama. I'm Christiana, former pro musician turned yoga teacher, breathwork instructor, and wellness coach. I teach newly signed artists and touring musicians how to get out of their head and into the body so that they can get on stage authentically and put on great shows night after night after night. I help them connect to an audience, to an ever-growing audience, and attract a die-hard fan base that will support them throughout their entire career. I also help these newly signed artists and touring musicians reconnect to their creative selves, whether it's in the studio, rehearsal space, or just when they're writing new materials. And I help them learn to love life on tour. So if this sounds like you, I invite you to join my Facebook group listed below. It's a place where musicians can connect, and I share tips and tricks and techniques every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to help support you in the music industry. I post YouTube videos every Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you'll be the first to know when these videos come out, and go ahead and like this video. Today's class is going to be a deep dive onto headstand. I've had a lot of people ask me about inversions. I don't normally do inversions in my vinyasa classes just because there's a lot of moving parts to it, and if I'm not in the room with you, it's a little iffy. I like to see where people are at and help them whenever they need help. I'd love to break down this headstand for you so that you can try this at home and hopefully start to do your own safe headstands at home in your personal practice, also out in group classes, or as a fun party trick. So go ahead and get on your mat. Let's get started. The most important part of doing a headstand is going to be the setup. You don't want your elbows too wide or too close. You need to have your head supported with your hands as well. So how I have always been taught, and what's worked best for me, what helps me teach other people, is to interlace your fingers like this. If you have any jewelry with the stones facing outward, go ahead and actually bring them in because it can hurt the fingers on the other side, all right? But this way, your head's not really gonna feel that. So interlace the fingers, leaving your thumbs straight up, and then you're gonna stack the pinkies on top of each other. You're not fanning them out, you're not interlacing them, you're stacking them, okay? This part right here actually goes like right on the crown of your head, the tippy, tippy, tippy top, where you would imagine like the cone would be coming out if you had a cone. You would put your hand there. So go ahead and get, if you haven't been on the mat, go ahead and get onto your knees on the mat. And then we're just gonna put your head on the mat. There's a nice little flat part on the top of everyone's heads. You just have to feel around for exactly where it is. And that's what's gonna go on the mat. That's what's gonna keep you grounded, okay? So interlace those hands, stack the pinkies, thumbs are facing up. Those stacked pinkies are what goes right underneath the cone part of your head to give you that extra support. So it's kind of like the flat bit of your head is connected to your pinkies at the very end. They're like little shims to help you, okay? You don't want your elbows out wide, and you don't want them squinching in too much either, but you want them pretty close to your head. I'd say as like parallel to your shoulders as you can possibly get, okay? So your head's set up, your hands are set up, your shoulders are set up. Go ahead and tuck your toes and then push your butt into the air. You can play around with lifting up one foot here and then lifting up the other one. You can squeeze it into you, squeeze it in. You can squeeze them both in. I call this egg pose, but I don't think that's what it's called. I don't think it actually even has a name. Just like a fetal headstand, I guess. Fetal position headstand. And then from here, you're gonna, some people do one leg straight then the other. I like to do them both straight at the same time. Also, it's important to have your eyes looking at a stationary point across from you. You don't want it to be too close. Opposite wall is great. You're not looking too much with your eyes, trying to keep your eyes just focused directly in front of you. So I've got my beautiful stationary point. And that's helping me stay steady. And now you're going to firm up through your core, kind of bring it all into that center line, and point the toes up to the ceiling. This will give you a nice straight line from your head to toes. And then you're supposed to stay here for 50 breaths, 50. But that's quite a bit, even if you are advanced. So I'm going to go ahead and come down. And the way that I like to come down is actually by keeping my legs straight and using my hips as a counterbalance, pulling them to the other side, pulling it away from my head. You see what I'm doing? So it helps with balance and core strength and thigh definition. Keep those toes pointed. We're just going to touch down gently. Beautiful. And go ahead and bring the knees down. Bring the hands away from the head. And you just hang out here for a little bit, just to let the blood come back into your neck. Just to relax a little bit. And then I like to go into fish pose after this, so push into the mat with your palms. Come up, let your feet go in front of you, and then just let your head fall back this way. You could set that flat part of your head back on top of the mat. You can tuck your fingers in underneath your hips. Push into the mat with your elbows so that your chest puffs up. And just relax here. You can let the feet splay outwards, pointing outwards. All right, push into the mat with your elbows, lift your head up. We'll go ahead and just bring it all back down onto the mat. Close your eyes. You can rock your head side to side. That'll help shake out any lingering tension in the neck. Go ahead and open up your chest. Try and bring your shoulder blades together like you're squeezing a pencil in between your shoulder blades. Breathe in. Exhale, let it all go. And then just count to 20 or 30. If you're in Shavasana, I'll just count to 20. All right, wiggle your fingers and toes. Go ahead and curl out to one side into a fetal position. Push yourself up into a seat. Hands at heart center. We'll close together with an Om. Deep inhale in. Om. Namaste. Thank you so much for learning headstand with me. I hope that you like this video. Please comment below, click that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in the Facebook group for musicians. Talk to you soon.